Welcome to my Winter 2013 battle series. I did something like this last year where I did a full team reveal and I had a big series. So, that's what I'm going to do this year again because I had a lot of fun with that series, so I'm going to try it again. This one's 5th Gen OU. I alluded to this earlier. I don't know why I decided 5th Gen OU. That's just what I went with. I'm going to try and keep this one short and concise. The last one was like 40 minutes long, and there's honestly not that much to talk about for this team. I wanted to win. And if you want to win these days, you gotta pick OU or crap. Otherwise, like, you're just gonna be left behind in the dust. So let's take a closer look at these guys individually, and then there will be a battle at the end. It'll be the first battle that I had with this team, kind of a warm-up thing, and then the series is gonna take off from there. First up is Rotom-W, and I really didn't want to use this guy, but he's just really the best at what he does. He's guaranteed to take one hit of really anything except grass, and then get a big hit off himself or go for Will-O-Wisp or whatever. So that's what I used him for. This one, it was max speed, max special attack, and it had hidden power fire because that's kind of old school these days. People don't expect it, and I was able to nail a lot of Ferrothorns. I didn't hit very many Scissors because I didn't see very many Scissors in the entire series, which I was a bit shocked at, but you know, that's just the way it went. It has lefties over any other item just because I wanted it to not kill itself. If it's in a sandstorm, it has no other recovery because I didn't have room to fit Pain Split on there because I wanted HP Fire, of course. So that's it. You know, it's really meant to burn some things, hit real hard with Hydro Pump, surprise a few things with Hidden Power Fire, and give a little bit of switch initiative with Volt Switch, and it did the role. It fit it alright, I guess. It did what it had to do. It's my only special attacker, so it was definitely one of my most valuable guys in terms of, like, I wanted to keep it alive over a lot of other things, but yeah, if that's definitely a team structure flaw on my behalf. I should have had another special attacker somewhere in there, but I just didn't really want to fit one in. Next is Ferrothorn. It's a Ferrothorn. It has rocks, Leech Seed, T-Wave, and Power Whip. It's meant to take hits and set up rocks and maybe paralyze something along the way. Unexciting. Next up is a Terrakion. It's Scarfed, it's Jolly, it's got X-Scissor and Earthquake as its coverage moves. Boring. Technician Breloom. It's got Leftovers over Life Orb because I figured the extra power Life Orb gives you isn't exactly worth the lessened survivability, so that's what I went with. Finally, one of the more interesting guys, Crobat. When I was building this team, I thought I'd go with a structure of 5+1. Basically build my entire team with the 5 guys, the 5 other guys, and then just throw on something else. Crobat kind of filled a niche in terms of being a fighting resist, but at the same time I'm not really too terrified of fighting moves, so it comes in, fills that niche, it taunts stuff, and if I ever need fodder, this guy's real great. That's why I like the 5+1 structure, because if you build a team that's like 6 guys and it's balanced, if one of those guys goes down, then your team is unbalanced and you don't really have a whole lot left going on. So if I need something to take a Specs Draco Meteor, then you know, I can just go to Crobat and it can die and I won't really care. So why would I run Crobat over something like Prankster Sableye? Because Prankster Sableye can do the exact same thing. Crobat has a bit more bulk, I think, a bit more attacking power, and Prankster actually would hurt me because what I wanted Crobat to do was kind of be a scout. Prankster, you get priority, you always go first no matter what, which is good in its own right. Because you'll always get a Will-O-Wisp off, you'll always get your Confusory off, whatever you want to do. But because you ignore speed, you don't know what the other guy's set is. So Crobat offers more knowledge kickback. Like, if something wants to be Scarfed and outspeed you, then you know that it's Scarfed, you know it's locked onto a move. So Crobat just offers a bit more information than something like Sableye, even though Sableye would be immune to fighting, which was kind of the main deal, but Crobat still 4x resists it, and that's good enough, honestly. Sableye could have spread burn for me instead of having an attack of like Brave Bird, but and that would have freed up a move slot on Rotom-W for Pain Split or something, but you know, I figured Crobat would be the better option, and in most cases it was. Brave Bird hits a lot harder than anything Sable I can throw out, so I'm definitely not upset by that decision. Last up is Dragonite. It's a bulky set. Bulky Dragonite with Dragon Dance is probably one of my favorite things to use because it's so good. And like I've lost to it more often than I'd like to admit. And I like pulling it off because with Roost and Dragon Dance, like unless they've got an ice move, they're kind of boned. And I just really, really like that. So plus the added bulk and multi-scale really, really helps them out. So I've never really used one before. Any Dragonite that I've used prior to this in 5th gen has had Inner Focus, so I just wanted to give it a shot, throw my hat in the ring, see what I could do with it, and I'm definitely glad that I got to use it. This one has Earthquake as its coverage move over Fire Punch because, for no specific reason really, it hits harder, and plus if somebody sets up a rain, Fire Punch isn't going to help really regardless. It kind of makes Skarm a bit of a hassle, but that's what Rotom-W is for. You're not going to bring in Dragonite and set up right away, so that's just what I went with. Now that we've met the team, let's see how good we can do, alright? I'm going to be going through mostly in order of some of these. Obviously I'm going to skip a lot of them because most of the better battles were towards the end of my recording, but this was the first one I had. I wanted to show the first one I had just because, and it was against a guy named BayouBengals from Smoke and Wi-Fi Finder. So, I predicted him to lead with Skarm, so I was going to lead with Crobat just to taunt it and prevent it from setting up entries, which actually is exactly what happens. However, he predicted my taunt or whatever, and he went for a Brave Bird. I didn't see lefties after the turn, so I'm assuming he's Rocky Helmet, but he also might be banded. I knew he wouldn't 2-hit KO me even if he did go for Brave Bird, because Crobat is just that bulky. And I could either sit in here and Brave Bird and see if he does have a Rocky Helmet, or I could switch out to Ferrothorn and set up my own entries, get a little bit more damage on him due to Iron Barbs, and that's what I do. So I could either T-Wave predicting a switch or set up my rocks and just guarantee that they're up. I think I decide in the end, you know, Stealth Rocks is the best one-turn play you can make. His Skarm is half dead, and that's awesome. And in comes an Alakazam, so I'm not really sure what this thing wants to do to me. Obviously Focus Blast, HP Fire, but like which one? If he's going to go for HP Fire, then I can go to Terrakion. Then again, he's probably Sash. That's probably a bad idea. In the end, I decided just to stay in and Power Whip and break his Sash that he probably has. And he winds up missing Focus Blast, which is kind of nice. I do enjoy other people missing moves against me. So his Sash is now broken. He's going for Focus Blast. I figure it's a good time to go into Crobat. If he, like, he's obviously, he's not going to be Choice Scarf, so I'm going to be faster. And Focus Blast is going to do Piss All because of ×4 resist. I'm not sure if he knows that Crobat is faster, because some people don't know, I guess, but he did switch out, so I'm assuming he knew. And in comes the Skarmory again. I believe I just went for Brave Bird trying to score the KO on Zam, which I do. And this reveals to me that he does, in fact, have Rocky Helmet, which I think is kind of a stupid idea. Even on a physical wall, I'd rather have that can heal itself, I'd still rather have lefties. I know Roost is probably going to come, so I'm just going to taunt him anyway. I don't care if Crobat dies at this point. It's done its job. I just want that Skarm out of here because that gives my Terrakion pretty much free reign to take over and just annihilate stuff. So I'm going to take this opportunity. Like, I know he's got to either Brave Bird or Switch, so I'm going to go to Rotom because I can hit pretty much anything I want really hard. Then comes a Raikou, and I think Raiku's faster. Yes, it is. So I don't know if that thing's Specs or Scarf or whatever, but a T-Bolt does a ton of damage. I'm guessing it's probably Scarf, I would say, but I honestly don't know. It wasn't Life Orb. It might be Expert Belt. I don't know. You can't really tell. So I go to Ferrothorn to take the next T-Bolt, and I'm going to take that quite well. And I don't really know what I want to do. I could T-Wave whatever wants to come in. If it's going to be Zam, Zam still might be faster than me after the T-Wave. So I might just go for Power Whip, but in comes Skarm, and I forgot all about this thing. I should have just double switched into something else. My Power Whip winds up missing, so I have no chance of KOing it, but he's got a Roost. Otherwise, he's dead, basically. So I've got a free switch into Rotom. I'm going to be able to kill it next turn with Volt Switch anyway, so I'm not really too terribly concerned about him getting a Roost up. So I'm going to Volt Switch. I think that's pretty obvious. I'm expecting him to save this Skarmory because my team is entirely physical except for this Rotom. So if he can keep the Skarm alive, I've got really not a lot I can do. but he decides to leave his Scarm in and bite the dust, which I guess gives him switch initiative on my Volt Switch, but I don't really think that was worth it. That thing walled my Dragonite completely. It walls Terrakion, kind of. It walls Crobat. It walls Breloom. So he really should have kept that thing around. I decided to go into Crobat, and he brings in Raikou against me, which it's almost dead, and I'm kind of thinking maybe a Brave Bird would kill it. It would be really, really close, though, so I'm just going to Roost up, remove my Flying type, so I'm going to be neutral to T-Bolt, and he decides to go for Aura Sphere. I couldn't imagine why. I guess he was predicting Ferrothorn to come in, but that was really just not the right play. My Crobat's faster, and he's almost dead, so he really didn't have a whole lot going for him there. That was just a flat-out bad play by him. So Crobat's sitting here pretty, you know, it's pretty good. He's got lots of hit points, and in comes Alakazam again, which he's not faster than me. I know he's not, like, even if he wants to be Scarf and go for a Psychic move, I've got a Psychic resistant Ferrothorn still kicking around, so I'm not really sure what that was all about either, but hey, that's what he did. I Brave Birded away. Maybe he didn't know I was faster or something, I don't know. In comes Gyarados, which he should have done in the first place, and I'm going to be able to taunt this thing because I don't want it setting up DDs. Like, he may be behind right now, but a couple of DDs under his belt, and this game could totally turn around. So I just want to stop that before it even starts. I'm intimidated, so it's just time to get out of there. I'm going to go into Rotom, kind of thinking I could live a Waterfall if he wanted to go for it, but he goes for Outrage, which, Outrage, a lot of people are putting that on their Gyarados these days, I've noticed. I'm not really sure if that's a good idea. I guess it hits Dragonite better than Stone Edge, and it hits Chomp, and it hits Mence, but I don't know, like, you're stuck into it. I just don't know if that's a good idea. Especially on an intimidating Gyarados. Like, maybe if you had Moxie and you were killing stuff, maybe that would work, but I don't know. That's just what he did, that's what happened, and he has Person Berry, so that's kind of strange as well. Like, it's an interesting set, but it's just not working out for him here. I decided to get a Leech Seed on it immediately because I knew my Taunt was about to wear off, and if Gyarados can't recover, so I may as well get as much residual damage on it as I possibly can before he starts boosting up. He's going to fire off an EQ because Waterfall is stupid, Outrage is stupid, so that's the only logical play. Especially if he expected to die either this turn or next turn, which it turns out to be this turn because my power-up does a lot more than I thought it would, to be honest. It almost did half, which is just stupid. But in any case, he's going to send in Arcanine, and I'm just going to let my Ferrothorn die. I don't want anything else to take a hit. I don't want him close combating and hitting my Terrakion if I tried to bring that in, predicting fire. I didn't want Dragonite to come in and get burned, so Ferrothorn was just the best thing I had to get killed. And from there I can bring in pretty much whatever I want. Dragonite, Terrakion, Breloom, maybe not Breloom. That might be able to live a Mach Punch, but I go to Terrakion. Earthquake's going to kill it. Close Combat's going to kill it. Stone Edge would kill it if it hit. So it's really just user's choice. Whatever you think. Whatever you want to kill him with. And I don't think he's got a whole lot left. I don't think he has another Fighting Resist. Yeah, he's got a Garchomp, so Close Combat is not going to quite take it out, but I still got Breloom. Even if you wanted to Swords Dance, I don't think that thing gets Dragon Dance. Maybe it does? I'm not too sure. I've never seen it. And yeah, that doesn't do nearly as much as I thought it would, but does more than enough. Breloom's going to be able to come in and Mach Punch, and that's going to be the game. So, very good start. Very good start. We got first win under our belt, and now it's time to just build up from here. Maybe this guy wasn't exactly the most difficult or challenging opponent, but, it's good to have a confidence-building game before you get right into things. So, I'll be sure to stick around. They definitely get a lot better from here. This was just a warm-up, more or less. Thank you for watching. See you next time.